Hello, readers! Welcome to session number 5 of the reading lesson. I know you guys are excited to get going today, but before we move on, I need to make sure that I ask you that you have spent some time listening to Number the Stars, chapter 4, because the story is moving along and it's getting really good. So if you haven't had the opportunity to sit back and listen to that chapter, I'd like you to pause this video and do that now. Welcome to Grade 4 Virtual Reading Class, Session 5, Making Significance with Your Reading. Remember how when we read The Tiger Rising, there were certain parts of the book that begged us to pause and pay close attention? The parts that seemed like windows to some deeper meaning at the heart of the whole story? Readers, let's think about the part when Willie Mae told Rob she thought his rash was really sadness that wanted to come out, but kept in. "I can tell you how to cure that," said Willie Mae, pointing with her cigarette at his legs. "I can tell you right now. Don't need to go to no doctor." "Huh?" said Rob. He stopped chewing his gum and held his breath. What if Willie Mae healed him and then he had to go back to school? "Sadness," said Willie Mae, closing her eyes and nodding her head. "You keeping all that sadness down low in your legs. You not letting it up in your heart where it belongs. You gotta let that sadness rise on up." Do y'all remember that part of the book? I loved that part. That was when I knew Willie Mae had the best interest for Rob, and knowing that it was much more than just saying that he needed to heal his rash. She actually was thinking about him more deeply, and it connected back to the whole beginning of the text. Do you remember that? Readers, today we will learn that readers don't wait for someone else to decide which passages are worth pausing over. Readers read alertly, poised to say, "Wow, this part almost seems like it's written in bold." Readers then ask, how does this connect to other parts of the text? And what is this part really about? Before this lesson, we had you listen to the read aloud of chapter 4. So I'm going to use that chapter for some of the work I'm going to be doing today. Looking back into chapter 4, Number the Stars, if we reach the passage that seems like it's been written in bold, a signal with a raised thumb, then we'll ask the questions, does this connect to earlier parts of the text? And what is this part really about? Readers, I'm going to do the work for you by going back into chapter 4 and picking a passage that we're going to reread. When we reach a point in the text that seems to be written in bold, we should ask, how does this passage connect with the earlier ones? And what does it really mean? Okay, you ready to begin? Let's do this. Okay, readers, here we go. So this chapter from Number the Stars was chapter 4, It Will Be a Long Night. And this chapter is a really good chapter. It gets super good as far as developing the characters and the plot of the story. But particularly the part that stood out to me was when the parents sort of were put in a compromised situation where they now need to tell Anne-Marie why the neighbor's daughter is going to be staying with them. So I'm going to reread that part for you. Though Mrs. Rosen had sent her chicken to the Johansons, and Mama made a lovely dinner large enough for second helpings all around, it was not an evening of laughter and talk. Ellen was silent at the dinner. She looked frightened, and Mama and Papa tried to speak of cheerful things, but it was clear they were worried, and it made Anne-Marie worry too. And so it kind of goes on a little bit more, but this is the part that I thought was really good. "What's happening?" Anne-Marie asked when she and Ellen were alone with Papa in the living room. "Something's wrong. What is it?" Papa's face was troubled. "I wish that I could protect you children from this knowledge," he said quietly. "Ellen, you already know. Now we must tell Anne-Marie." He turned to her and stroked her hair with his gentle hand. "This morning at the synagogue, the rabbi told his congregation that the Nazis have taken the synagogue list of the Jews, where they live, and what their names are. Of course, the Rosens were on that list, along with many children. Why? Why did they want those names? They planned to arrest all the Danish Jews. They planned to take them away, and we have been told they may come tonight. I don't understand. Take them where? Her father shook his head. We don't know where, and we don't really know why. They call it relocation. We don't even know what that means. We only know what is wrong, and it is dangerous, and we must help. Anne-Marie was stunned. She looked at Ellen and saw her best friend was literally crying. Readers, in a few minutes, you'll be trying this on your own. So we're going to take a minute to rehearse your best thinking about passages, and we're going to use these thought prompts to help us. So if we look at how to grow complex ideas, we think, could this have anything to do with, and you kind of remember something from the beginning of the story? Or, I wonder, maybe, remember earlier in the story when? And these are all ways to get your thinking going back to the beginning of the text to decide what's happening and moving forward with where you are in your text. But rather than jump from one idea to another, it's helpful to zoom in on one idea to linger on. So I chose, I remember when the author shared the interactions of the girls with the soldiers on the street corner. That was a sign trouble was brewing. And now in this last part of the passage I read from chapter 4, it's the same type of idea, only now the trouble's bigger. Now the soldiers are coming into people's houses and taking them somewhere. Today we're going to annotate our thoughts. Try to capture the big idea, the theme of your text. You'll be writing an interpretation of the text. To do this, first read on in the text and be alert for passages that are significant to the whole text, just like I did for you. Some of you may be wondering, what does that word annotate mean? Well, annotate means taking notes of your thoughts. After you read your 20 minutes of your independent historical fiction book today, you are going to locate a passage, read it 2 or 3 times, and ask yourself these questions. You're going to annotate your thoughts. In your Google Drive reading log, you are going to type these questions and answer them about your story. What is the story really about? What is the author really saying about life? How does this passage connect to others? How do these passages support an idea that is central in the story? Today, guys, you're going to get your thoughts and ideas out in annotated thoughts, short versions of what you're thinking to answer these questions. And that is what you guys are going to do today. You're going to go and read your historical fiction book for 20 plus minutes, and then you're going to open up your reading log in your virtual folder. You're going to annotate your answers to the guiding questions, and then you're done. But some of you are like, I'm still confused. Don't forget, I always provide an example in the agenda. Just click on the example, it will open up, and it will help you guide your answers for today. All right, guys, good luck. Have fun reading. Bye.